Hey guys, Happy New Year! Happy 2024. Welcome back to another episode of It Pricked. It's a rose by yours truly, none other than Doris Wanyagia. This is the first episode of 2024. Thank you for keeping it true. Thank you for rocking with us in 2023, 2022, 2021. And I'm just taking this episode as the first episode of the year to recap where we've come from, where we at, and where we are going. If like I can confirm, the first episode was called Second Mind. I was actually listening to it yesterday as I was planning today's shoot. It was not intentional. I just randomly sat down and thought of all the episodes I've ever done. And yeah, so the first episode was shot on April 5th, 2021. I'm always convinced I started my podcast in 2020, but apparently it was April 5th, 2021. And like at that time when I was starting this, it was a very rough idea. I actually asked a second year lady in campus who was also doing a podcast, how do you like do the podcast? And she told me to like try Spotify for podcasters. At that time it was called what? Anchor. Yeah, at that time it was called Anchor. So I downloaded Anchor. So I remember starting shooting the podcast while in our dining table at home. I would tell my siblings to keep quiet, even lock one door so that they remain in the sitting room and I can like have the dining area for myself so that I could shoot. And here we are in 2024, a whole production set. Like, God has been so faithful. God has been so graceful to It Pricked It's that we are here today. It was first of all an outlet for myself, but now like as we are growing, I've made it into somewhere where we can all listen, grow together. That is why like I also bring friends and guests who like I feel like would add value to a lot of people, or to even me and the rest of you, if we listen to them. And it's been like so beautiful watching this. It's been a very beautiful journey, and I'm sure God will take us to greater things. So this episode, we're just meant to recap the year and like now see what we've done throughout the year, and now see what we are planning for in like the year 2024. So the year 2023 was not like that big of a year, because like when I used to live in like Kakamega, I have no excuse, but I didn't like shoot a lot. So the first episode was on Jan 2020, and we were talking about what drives you. Are you passionate about it, and do you let it drive you? And we talked about our fears, whether times should dictate where we are in life, what keeps us on the daily, and what we are passionate about. At this time and space in 2023 January, I was in a very different space of life. Like I didn't know how life would move. I was feeling fatigued. I was feeling like overwhelmed with life. And I think I shot this episode in another studio. Like it was just a very random episode. And I'm glad I shot it. It has been like a baby of mine. Like seeing like having it as an outlet, using it as a baby of mine, using it as a place where I can like speak out my heart. And at the same time, like whatever I'm going through might be what you're going through, only that because I've not talked out, you might not know yours is also a problem. So I also did like a blessed girl mentality. Then I did vision boards do work. This was on Jan 2023, January 27th. I'm not sure like where I was at this specific time, but I know like at that time, like I had like gotten the opportunity, if not yet it was coming to be, and I was going for a different job, and this was like so surreal for me. I was also looking through my vision board, and like I realized that, yo, guy, I had all these things listed down and now they've come to pass. You're like ticking things. You're like, oh, I said I'll buy a table. Oh, tick. I said I'll buy a kettle. Oh, tick. Like the little less things, because I moved out in 2022, started from scratch, and like seeing things that I only had in like a list as dreams and wishes now come true was so beautiful to me and was so surreal. And now, like Jan 2023, I was feeling like I needed a shift and a change in my life, and it came to be. And like I can't really tell like what happened. I can't really, like, till date I can't explain to anybody if they ask me how that happened, because I also don't know. But it was so beautiful to see. So then we moved. That was Jan 27. We shot one in, oh no, I hadn't moved, because this was in Feb 11th. Toxicity levels at work, family and in friendships. This was because I was feeling like I was in a toxic workplace and it was getting to my head. And guy, I needed a break. I felt like it was getting too much for me. And when I say that, like, present your prayers to God, He listens. I am a living testimony that He does. And He came through for me, like, when I didn't see it coming. Yeah, so like from Feb, I didn't shoot. I moved back to Nairobi in Feb. So March, April, May, I didn't like shoot anything. But come June, I hosted Nyawera Mavis and we shot the In Circle. And that was like the real comeback of It Pricked Its Arose. I think when I shot with Mavis, that was the real episode saying, hey guys, I'm really back and I'm really investing in this stuff of mine because it's a baby of mine and I love it. So we shot a really nice episode. Mavis was a really nice guest. I'm glad you guys enjoyed listening to her, and it was so awesome. Then we did balancing personal life and professional life with Wamboi Wangombe. Let me like just plug her right now. Wamboi Wangombe now has her podcast of her own. She says that when I hosted her, I gave her the push like to exist and to be able to remember who she used to be, and to like realize she also had it. She also has it in her to produce something nice. And like she's, I think, in the first episode of her podcast, and I'm so happy, like being able to impact the people you surround yourself with the things you do is so beautiful. And like one of my guests was talking about purpose, and she was saying that it's the things you transform life with. And the fact that I feel like I made an impact in Wamboi Wangombe's life. Like she felt, because I invited her over to my episode. Like that was like the beauty that made her like remember that, hi guys, you know what? I think I also have this in me and I'll do it. I'm so happy for her. I'm so proud of her. And doing things on a daily that also like get other people to get up and go for things they want to do is such a beautiful thing. And I hope I continue to do that for the rest of my life. For as long as It Pricked exists, I hope I also continue to do that. So from there, I also did self-awareness and blooming, featuring Miss Akoth. So Miss Akoth said that she used to be a very shy girl, but she like took the challenge and came over to my episode where we talked about like just like putting away the shyness down, and now existing fully, doing those things you think you can do, going for them, and not caring, okay, not caring for what people will say or what people will think, knowing that it's in your head, but you can like escape from it by simply just doing you, being you, and confronting your fears. It was such a beautiful episode, and I learned a lot from her. She's a whole like superstar. She's a whole model, and I love it for her. It's beautiful like to see the people like I host, yeah, like just continuing with their life, living well, yeah. And then from there, I did Money Looks Good on a Black Woman, a Man. That was so far my favorite episode because, hey, I let nobody lie to you. Money looks good on a black woman, money looks good on a black man. I was listening to an episode by Vusi Thembekeo. I don't think it was an episode, but it was like a podcast, not a podcast. What do we call this? A TikTok video I watched on TikTok. And he was saying that why have we been taught to think that money is evil? Our God is a God of abundance, like we're surrounded by abundance. Why not people who right what do we call this, people who like follow God, who are not evil? Why not also explore the aspect of money and like bring the ethics you possess into money, not make it look evil? Because hey, you serve, you're children of like a person who is like the owner of all these things. Then why do you think you should lack? Why do you think that you should like not have enough? All the same, not to say that let it not be that you're sold by churches the notion of richness, and that is how you end up being poor, by giving them everything you own. But let you know that you're worthy of all the nice things in this life. Yeah, so I think that is what like inspired me to do the Money Looks Good on a black woman and black man. And may the kings and queens have plenty of it. So from that I went to investing in your business, is it worth it? So at that time I was in that space where I was asking myself, like, sometimes we claim we love the things we do. Like, for example, I say I love my podcast, I love it so much. But then the question should arise, how much do I like invest into it? How much am I willing to give into this art that I claim I love? And I sat down to realize that, for the things you claim you love a lot, you should be willing to spend on them. You should be willing to invest on them, to give them the very best version of yourself, to exist there fully, to show up for them, to be consistent for them, and just to do what they require of you, because at the end of the day, you also claim that you love them. And this was a very personal episode for me, because I had a session of introspection where I even asked myself, like, I claim I love a lot of things. I claim I love Kadori. I claim I love the podcast. I claim I love my house. I claim I love a lot of things, even the people around me. But what do I do for the things that I love? Yeah, and like that was the reasoning behind that episode. And then I did Things Will Definitely Get Better, how to keep up. So like I was in this space where I was feeling like, like sometimes so many good things happen at a go, until you have like, I don't know if I should be allowed to call it imposter syndrome or what of the sort. But sometimes a lot of things come to you and you don't know how to react. Like, for example, let me give a simple analogy. Like, for someone who has been like living in, where can I like give an example? For someone who has been living in Shags and then they move to Nairobi, they'll like get the culture shock. Like, they'll be like need to devise new ways to survive wherever they are, because this is a new space, this is the new norm. How then do you ensure that you're able to like keep up? How then do you ensure that you show up as your true self, not allowed you to be taken by the pressures, but all the same like living like you are? Like, for example, you can't like have money and you wear tatters, like you eat on the street, you eat like street food, not street food, but you eat like chokoras, you eat like someone who doesn't have a home, you sleep on the streets, like the things have to match. When you have money, you have to look like, okay, I'm not saying look like show off money, but I mean like let it serve you. and that was like the why I did things will definitely get better, how to keep up. Yeah, and then finally I did faith, affirmations, and manifestations. I think this episode, yes, not I think, but I'm sure. This episode I did with the one lady by name Mildred Kiora, and we were talking about now affirmations and manifestations and the whole God thing, whereby we even like touched the aspect of the church where people like are concerned with how you look, yet they forget that they're also there in that church to worship God, not to look at others. And like in the middle of like seeing, oh, look at those, look at that girl, the way she's dressed, oh, that girl came out of her home, decided that, today I want to go to church to have a personal relationship with God. And you have decided that, no, I think she's here because she has an agenda or something of the sort. I promise you, she does not have an agenda. She's here because she wants to. And like the moment when the older people like have now cast an eye on the people, on the younger ones, and they're like, oh, look at her, oh, how it's, they pull them away from the church instead of bringing them closer. I mean, bring them closer, show, correct them with kindness, and they'll like stay there. And yeah, like that is like 2023 for the podcast. In 2023 we also like moved, we bought these microphones, they were bought in 2023, the lighting, the setup, the soft boxes. We also like got a camera that we are now using. Yeah, so that was 2023. That was 2023, a very like good year, a very fair year, and I'm so grateful to God, excited to see what the future holds for us now as we start 2024. This is the first episode, but I promise you more on the way. And like we continue to exist authentically, we continue to live within our purpose, and we continue to be who we are called to be, and just to exist authentically. It's been very beautiful doing this with you guys, sitting here, having guys who listen, they like give feedback, they call me, they're like, oh, I watched you, I listened to you, or just someone randomly tags you, you're not even thinking that day, I'm even at work, I'm not thinking about the podcast, and someone randomly like listens to the audio version and they're like, oh, I'm listening to it pricked. It gives a lot to my heart. It like it warms my heart a lot, and I give everybody their flower, like everybody who has been a constant in this episode, from Manu in the shooting department, from Manu sasa hiyo ni show off, from Manu in the shooting department, from the moment where we started shooting at Kasarani, the studio with Kina Victor. It was so eye-opening, so awesome. Like it was really the beginning of growth for like It Pricked, and I'm so grateful. And now to where we are at, like it's because of you guys, because if I get nobody who listens, why then am I doing this? Who am I doing it for? But it's you 60 of you, it's you 80 of you, it's you 100 of you, 200 of you that listen to me. It's you, that one person that consistently listens to me, that keeps me going, and I'm so grateful. So happy new year. I hope you've like set your vision boards. I have not yet sat to set mine. I'm in a very weird phase. I don't know, like I have not found it in me to sit down and to write down the vision boards. Though I live for vision boards, I know they work. I love them. I'll definitely do one. But I'm still, I think, probably in the new year, I'm still like not really inside the year. Probably because I'm yet like to get back to work. Probably work will jumpstart me, but I hope you are working on your vision boards. If you're not yet to, even Feb 20th is okay for you to start the year. It's okay for you to set what you want to do and to be consistent. Like, just do the little things and don't postpone things for tomorrow. If you feel like you want to do something today, do it today. And at the end of the month, you'll be shocked by how many things you would have done. Yeah. And I'm so grateful to you guys. So yeah, this has just been a very simple recap video, recap podcast episode. I hope the year is graceful to you. I pray that the Lord blesses us with abundance, that the Lord is there for us, holds our hands, walks with us, guides our ways, and teaches us to be very grateful children for all the blessings we have received, and teaches us to stay with open arms for the very many more blessings that are about to come our way. So this has been me, Miss Doris Wanyagia of It Pricked It's a Rose, with a recap of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. Welcome to the year. Welcome to the podcast episodes. And until the first episode, I won't count this as first. So until the first episode, see you.